All right. I'm just gonna get started. Some people get the notification to get it, they don't. Sure, there's other lives going on, got things to do, but we're gonna tie something today. We're gonna tie something tonight. And I'm just gonna tie up two woolly buggers, or woolly worms this time, not woolly buggers, I mean woolly worms. And these can be done in all kind of fashion. But I'm gonna use this, which is glow bug yarn. So it's use it for steelhead and stuff. I'm gonna use some glow bug yarn to tie them. And that's just a white piece of glow people use for panfish, trout, nothing. Not really much to this one. But yeah, panfish love this one. It's like really well known. And I'm gonna tie it on this steelhead hook, salmon hook. And where am I? Oh, I'm gonna need that. Some thinner on it. Cause this one really, I gotta glue this one really good because it's like a wool. And then we're gonna get this. Did I leave my paper towel up here? I did. And then put this glue on it. How's it going, River? Get some glue on there. Glue it down. And then we're gonna make it green. So the body's gonna be green on this one. Green chenille. About there. Gotta be kind of careful right here. I'm gonna lay that back like that. And you can add like a lead to this on the body so they'll sink faster, but I'm just gonna tie it without that, just as is. Just as is. And then let's see, what color do we want to make it? Brown. We're gonna do brown. Well, then we're gonna put a brown hackle in there. You can see that it's got like a black stripe down the center. And then we're gonna tie all that down. I'll try to build it up right here because it's like a bump in its back. off here. Turn it back from that eye, the eyelet. All right. Yeah, these ones are pretty easy to make. Very similar to making that marabou like jig, but it's like an olive green, I guess you'd call this. And I'm just gonna wrap it. Snug it down. Oh, and then let me get up here. Let this down. We're gonna tie that off. I can get it untangled. Let's see it. One more wrap. Like right there. Gotta keep it kind of snug because you don't want that chenille to like unwind on you when you let it go. Even though there's glue underneath there. Turn it this way. Put my scissors right. And then what are we gonna do on this one? That tighten down a little bit. We're gonna try to trim that little. Try not to cut the thread. All right, that's pretty much it there. And then we're gonna take this hackle and wrap it. Oop, I'm bumping it there. My camera mount is kind of a goofy mount. And you just want to do it even if you can. One more. Can I get it? And it's kind of the Texas two-step with this part. Got to hold the tension on one and wrap it with the other. And then trim it. And tie it the rest of the way down. And you can see I didn't quite get that bottom part. And then we're gonna trim that off. And get it with the scissors here. I'm gonna wrap that last bit. Trick with this is try not to. I was saying on the last one that I made something. I made something kind of similar, and the trick was the eye. That eyelet, you want to try not to put too much thread on that eyelet because then when you try to put your fishing line through, you'll realize you done glued it down, glued that area, and you can't get your line through there. You'll be pressing on the thread and sometimes you kind of damage the fly if that happens. But it'll still fish and catch something, but it won't be as pretty. So yeah, that's a really simple little fly that catches trout and panfish. It's that thing kick it anywhere in America and catch something. Any place almost, it's kind of like looks like it's a caterpillar or something that fell off a tree into the water. So I know I caught a lot of like bluegill with these things and perch. And a lot of times I don't even use a fly rod. I just put it on the line in a split shot and then tip it with a worm. And I've caught trout that way too. And bass sometimes too. Sometimes I just tip it with a worm instead of just using the worm by itself. I'll just use the fly and then tip it with a worm on there. And this is just a basic classic wet fly. Like this is like the first fly I think everybody should learn to tie when they start, because it's so easy to get comfortable making. You can see it took me 12 minutes to make that fly. Like it's pretty much done, pretty much. The other patterns will get a little more crazy because there's just more materials to them, like the Atlantic salmon flies and all those, and some of those steelhead flies. And those, I always call those like the pretty flies because they have a lot of material sometimes to them. And those are the ones everybody always sees in the picture frames, and people have them as decoration in their house because they take a little bit to tie. I've tied a few of those, but I need to get larger hooks for them so you can really see them, because this is kind of a small hook. It's a size 6. Like it's it's a good size for catching most fish. Even it's meant to hold salmon and steelhead, but sometimes something a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. And then, so now you can see it's got like a wool tail on it. Like if you look at it, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim that. I'm gonna trim that tail up now, shorten it up, because if you look how small that shank on that hook is. So we're just gonna kind of trim it back. But these are like easy to make. Technically, you don't even have to trim it, but I just feel it's too long. The tail is too long. I'm like, that's a little too long for this. But we're just gonna keep on tying something. And there we go. There we go. Cool little fly right there. Gotta give him a haircut. Matter of fact, I need a haircut. I need to cut mine soon. I'm growing an afro we're cutting right now. And we're gonna just put it back in the vase real quick. Put it back in the vase, because we're hooking it up. And we're gonna glue the head down so it'll stay secure. So those wascally trout, wascally bass won't tear it up as easy. And eventually I'm probably gonna fish a couple of them. Depends on this weather. They stocked a couple places around here, and I'm just like, I I was about to shoot out and go, take off and go, and I was like, man, I got it's the area it's in. The two lakes are at, and one is like basically it's in Seattle. Like it's the city lake basically. Like it's like in this it's like right in Seattle. Like it's crazy. It's like and there used to be muskie in there. One of the only lakes in the state that actually has muskie, but they were planted in there. One of the other besides Lake Tapps has one, and it's like a reservoir. But it's one of the only ones that has muskie in it. But the muskies in there are sterile, and they stock it with rainbow trout. So I don't know if there's any of them left because I think they stocked that with muskies when I was a kid. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two big ones left in there. But they're supposed to be sterile, and they're not supposed to be able to breed. They put them in there for the carp to keep the carp population in check. But I was thinking about going out there or this other lake, which is the opposite direction. Like so, both lakes are different, and one's like an alpine lake, so it's meant for trout, but it doesn't have much access to it because of where it is up in the because you got to get up on the basically you're kind of going up to the mountain a little bit, but it's not too far from where I'm at. But it's like you want to drive 35 minutes one way, you want to drive 35 minutes the other way. I don't know. Like I don't know which one to go. So I'm like, yeah. And they were stocked a couple weeks back, so it's like those fish might have done moved out to deep water. They're not going to be rolling and surfacing. If I see that, I'd be surprised. But there's supposed to be 3-pound rainbows in there, and I went some years back, and we didn't get none. I sat out there, and I couldn't find any place with worms. So I drove around, and I couldn't, and I ended up just using shrimp, and we sat out there for like an hour, and the person I went with got upset. It was so, and he was like, "We didn't catch nothing," and I was just like, just got the fish and not catching, and then I don't know, he just went like, "We didn't catch anything," and I was like, "Good thing I didn't video this. Good thing I didn't live. Good thing we weren't people. I mean, there was live stream back then, but good thing." I was like, good thing. But that dude's not a bad dude. There's some, other things at play, but I'm gonna let this fly sit here for a minute. Maybe some other people will pop in here. I'm just getting this other stuff up and ready how I want to make this fly. Let's see. And I'm assuming, people eating dinner and everything else. Let's see here. There you go. It's a simple fly. See if this camera it's gonna do it justice here. Come on, camera. You're gonna act right. There you go. It's gotta be a little closer. That autofocus, I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with that on this particular phone. That autofocus, let me just might as well play around with it. If I can get it in the right spot so you can actually see, so everybody can see when I start tying them. Let's see if I put it back here. No, yeah, something with the autofocus on this deal. Yeah, see, and then it kind of focuses in on it. Yeah, and it's having trouble focusing on that fly. I don't think it had as much trouble with the big jig though. Let's see. I think it's just a bigger profile. Yeah, it's a bigger profile. It went into focus like immediately. See, and then when I took it out, yeah, it's the profile of the. So bigger jigs, it's easier for you to see than this little guy. Bigger hook. But let's see. There you go. woolly bugger, or not woolly bugger, woolly worm. Yeah, but you can make those tails red, green. Uh, that's why it's called a woolly bugger, because or woolly worm, because they actually use wool on the back of the tail. That's one fly. I'm gonna make one more, and then I'm gonna call it after that. I'll make one more. But that's a good beginner fly. You saw pretty quick I tied that. It looks real good, and the trout love that. Eventually, I'm probably, once I start getting tie up a bunch, because I went out and got a bunch of different hooks. I went and got some streamers, some mustache streamers, some TNC nymph hooks, 12, got 25 of those. And then I went out and got some like Cadus pupa style, other type of shrimp nymph hooks, size 16. So like that's like it's for scud shrimp and stuff like that. Um, tying pupas from nymphs and everything. And but they're so small, I'm not sure if this. Yeah, that's pretty small. Yeah, and you see how it's focusing. I don't know if that's gonna come up good when I try to tie those. That's gonna be a struggle. Okay, I might have to do that with a. Might not be able to do that live just because you won't be able to see it good. Because that was hard enough with that one with the focusing, but when my hand gets in the frame, it as there's another object, so it starts to focus. But yeah, we're gonna start on this other one. Let's see here. Oh, maybe I should make this a little tighter. Yeah, but these are really simple. Those are really simple pattern to make. Super, super, uber simple. Yeah, I tied this morning and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna tie this evening. I was gonna do my little Xbox deal, but I actually have to use a testing monitor for it to get it on video. It's gonna be really difficult, and I might have to have like my laptop up and running off to the side at the same time because what I have to do and to be able to get the view of what I'm doing when I take the controller apart because of the. And you guys saw me taking it apart, and I haven't done the finished part of it to see if I can even fix it. But even if I can't fix it, I mean, I still can play. And yeah, you know, what's up? Yeah, we're gonna tie a woolly worm. I just finished one already. I want to see. I just finished that one. I'm gonna tie a worm and I'm done. See if I can get that camera to kind of act right. It doesn't quite want to act right. Doesn't quite want to act right on that focus because of the size of that hook and where my hand's at. But it probably look better if I do this one. It'll probably focus. If I put a bigger jig or something, it's a little easier to see something bigger. But I'm gonna tie another one here. Yeah, it's like it's having its own mind of its own. It's like, nah, want to focus? No, I don't. Huh? It's just doing its own little fizzle there. I was like, man, this thing is having a mind of its own. All right, so this one I'm gonna make it because I used glow bug yarn on this. to make the other one. And this is a different type of glow bug yarn from a different company. I think it come out of California. It's out of California. But yeah. I'm going to tie it. I'm going to tie this up. Dun, dun. I'm going to tie it up. Just tie something to tie something. Oh, this one's going to act up on me a little bit, it looks like. I got to be careful not to break the thread on this one. And it doesn't look like it wants to go together like that other one. So I'll just use this and see if I can just a little bit, because I don't got a comb with me over here at this table. It'll be close enough to combing it. I was going to, but what I'm doing is I'm using the tail, the egg yarn as a tail for a woolly worm, or for a woolly worm instead. I'm actually planning to make some of those too, but right now I'm just making a little panfish trout deal. I was showing I got some other hooks and stuff. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna come up on the camera when I try to tie these because the hooks are size 16. They're so small. It's gonna be really, I don't know how I'm gonna maneuver that one to get for people to be able to see it good. And then I got these other ones, which I think will be and stuff for trout. So it's gonna be, that one's gonna be a challenge to try to get the phone camera to kind of, I might have to do something with that, take that autofocus off or something, and like set it in the perfect spot and not touch it. And then we're just gonna put a little drop of that in there. And then this one is gonna be black, like a black color. Black color on the body of it. Let's see. Of it. Boom, 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 boom. There. Build the body of it. Yeah, I think eventually I'm gonna do some like glow bugs too. Like probably use the peach, just like a apricot color. And I have some purple too. I might make a couple of those. But right now it's all do this panfish. Do one more of these panfish. And then I'm gonna use a badger. Use the badger hackle on this one. I used I think it was brown saddle on the other one. There you go. Tie it down. Oh no, don't do that. Tighten that down. Don't do that on me. We don't want that. What's up, buddy? Just tying some flies here. Tying like panfish fly, like for crappie, perch. You missed the other one. I already made it. I finished it already. Missed it. You missed the other one. And this will be the last one. And I'm gonna go eat and sit my butt down on the couch. If I can get this to go on there like I wanted to. There you go. Some glue. Get some glue on there. Yeah, that someone told me that once when I was younger. Said your hands, man, you should have been doing some kind of a surgeon or something. You do all those flies all the time and them small flies. And I was like, now I'm like, my eyes, I ain't doing that. I'm 41. I'm 41. And I was like, my eyes, man, I can't. I lost part of a little bit of vision. I was like, oh, I can't. I don't know if I can see that. I'm having a little time with some of these, imagine if I do one of these and look, this is even smaller than that. That's a size 16. Look at that. Look, compared to the size of that. That's what I was like, I don't think people are gonna be able to see that on the camera almost. Have to figure something out. So when I get ready to tie one of those, gonna have to get super close. Gonna have to get super close to the camera lens to see that with what I'm doing. Let's go like this. There's like some little fuzzies trying to get in there. There we go. And we just gonna wrap it. We're gonna rickety wrap. Rickety wrap. Just wrap it all the way to the front. All the way to the front. And then one more. And here go the fun part. Trying to flip this over and keep it snug and not mess up your other stuff you did. That's the fun part of this. So it won't come loose and you have to redo it all over again. And then this is the part that always gets me every time because I've cut the thread before. Especially as I'm using black thread with something that's got another black color on it. It's like, where's my thread at? I don't want to cut it because I'm trying to trim that for when I get ready to glue it and tie it down. I don't want to have too much of that sticking up. All right, and then here we go. We're gonna wrap this. Now we're gonna wrap this around. Let's see how we do here. There's one. That part you have to be kind of careful because sometimes you rub against there, it'll snap that feather. So you gotta kind of, let's see if that feather's even gonna be long enough. Is it? Might almost barely make it. Got one more wrap. Just barely. Just barely making it. Just barely got there. Just enough feather. Just the right measurement. Right on time. All right. And then we're going to cut that off like that. Yeah, it's got like an apricot peach tail. So it kind of sticks out and then black. And then like a badger. It's called badger hackle or something. It's like, it's got like black down the center of the feather. So you put it on a black body, it looks kind of crazy looking. When I get it glued, I'll show you with it. You can see it up close. Let's see if I can get the camera to work so you can see it up close. And then we're just gonna make the head of the worm, basically, of the woolly worm. Let's do it like this. We flip it upside down, so you can see what's going on underneath here. I see that feather sticking out right there. And I don't like it. Yeah, so I tied this one on a steelhead salmon hook, but it don't matter. Trout will bite it. Panfish will bite it. It's small enough, this size, for them to bite it, and it's a pretty strong hook. So catching little fish, you know, this hook is not gonna be an issue. Flip it over. Now we're gonna tie our knot. Yeah, and I just do. I'm just gonna do like a. Here, if I can get it to work, because I don't have a whip finisher. I don't know where it went. When I moved back to where I'm at, I could not find my whip finisher, and I was like, I don't really need it. I just do like half hitches on it too. I just do like half hitches, and that's usually good enough for me to get it to operate like I wanted to. I did it right. Oh well, I messed up a little bit on this one. It's okay. It pretty much knotted down on itself. So I'm good. And clip it away. A little excess hair, a little fuzz and stuff, and thread. Cause it knotted down on itself. I'm not worried about it. Fish ain't gonna care as long as that knot holds. Just a little frizz sticking up. Knot's good. Yeah, it's good enough. See on the other side? Let's flip it upside down. Yeah, you can see it in there a little bit right there. Let's see if I can get it. I don't want to cut all of it because I know that knot's kind of funny right there. I can get it. That's what I'm saying. My eyes, man. Now I'm like, man, now I know why everybody wearing glasses. I'm wearing glasses now too. I don't know why. Let's see if I can get this to work. Get me some glue. Come on, steady hand. And there's my little deal. I put it up here. Yeah, I was gonna do a game tutorial thing, but I've been having trouble with it for the controls. But oh no problem, man. You did get the notification. That's good. Cause I was like, yeah, nobody in here. I was like, oh, I already tied one fly already. I was like, that's fine though. That's how this. You know how YouTube is. See, and that's the other one that I tied earlier. If the camera's going to act right on me, it's trying. It's kind of hard to see because it's small. Yeah, there it goes. So you can see it. It's been doing that. I'm like, what's it doing? It's like fighting me, fighting what I'm trying to do. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, thanks for coming in and taking a gander. Thanks for coming in and looking, checking me out. Yeah, I decided to tie one more today because I tied a bunch of marabou jigs earlier this morning. A couple different, 2 marabous and something else. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim it. So now I'm gonna trim the tail because I don't like it like that. So I want it like a little bit shorter like the other one. See if I can get in the camera here. Give him a haircut here. We giving it a haircut. He's getting a high top fade. And there he goes. There's the tail. So that's just a woolly bugger right there. Basically like a woolly bugger, but it's a woolly worm. They're basically like the same thing. The only difference is the tail is marabou. On the other one is long and it undulates in the water. And this one's like, you make it so it's like a little piece of yarn, short at the end. But there you go. That's a finished panfish trout fly right there. Real quick, real fast, real simple, but catch a lot of fish with it. And then I was tying this one up earlier today, and this was Frankenstein, basically. This was a Frankenstein creation, and I was just like, I'll just keep going until then else, like what materials were just on the table. So it's not anything specific. I just like, I'm gonna make something that looks fishy. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna go get me some food. There's their finished product right there. So there you go. There's your finished product. 2 woolly worms, trout flies, panfish flies, bass, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the live and you learned something and you seen something cool. Peace.